TCC number 32. 32. What is it? Check it out after this intro. Roll it. TCC number 32. Number 32, man. Hey, these things, they don't come easy. I'll tell you that. So I give all due respect to all the YouTubers and people out there creating content. I don't consider us to be content creators in a sense, like as our number one priority. What we want to do is give back to the youth, the community and whatnot. So by doing that, we decided to come out and try to venture off into the creative side of getting content and pushing it out there to our audience so they can see what it is that we're about and what we're trying to do here at the T.R.O.Y Center. So TCC number 32, what is it? Planting seeds. Planting seeds. And I'm like, what? Planting seeds? Like, you live in Fresno. I get it. It's a lot of agriculture out there, but how are you guys planting seeds? Not in that sense. Not yet. Not to say that we are not trying to teach our youth how to do that. But this segment, this episode isn't pertaining to actually planting seeds to harvest and things like that in regards to food and vegetation. No, planting seeds is something that we do with our youth. Something that was done with us at an early age, and we just didn't really understand what it was. And we probably didn't even pay attention to what was being done, right? So what I mean by planting seeds and what we mean by planting seeds at the T.R.O.Y Center is this. We want to get to our youth, right? And explain to them things that they may not see right now. They may not understand right now. They may not even grasp the concept and the why. Like, why are you teaching me this now? Right? And honestly, it's even a little more shallow than that if we dive a little deeper. I know that's kind of like an oxymoron, right? It's shallower, but you dive deeper. But follow me, right? So with the T.R.O.Y Center, what we've done since 2017 was try to get out there and do things in the community, planting seeds. So now what we're seeing, what is that? Going on 5 years now. Wow, that's crazy. I'm thinking about it. Let me get out of that. But yeah, about 5 years now, we're still planting seeds, but the seeds that we've planted back in 2017, we're starting to see those break through the surface and become like a tangible thing. When you plant a seed, you don't see it grow unless you're just sitting there with an underground microscope or a video camera or something like that, trying to, time lapse it, right? I might put something on the screen right here for that. But unless you're doing that, you don't really see what the seed is growing into, right? And now I'm talking about agriculture now. So when you actually plant a legit seed and you water it, right, it grows over time, right? And that's what we do with our youth. We plant the seed. We've been planting the seed since 2017, and now we're seeing it grow. We're seeing the fruits of our labor, if you will. We're seeing the outcome of us not only planting the seed, but nourishing it, watering it, caring for it, making sure that it's getting the abundance of sunlight, water being taken care of, making sure we're getting the weeds out of the way so the seed can grow to its full potential. And if you haven't caught on yet, our seed, where we plant our seed, is in the youth. So we want them to grow along with the seed that we plant. Now that seed could be just looking at life from a different lens and seeing something that you didn't necessarily see before the T.R.O.Y Center entered your life, right? And once again, we're talking about our youth. And that can go to one of our many programs, which anger management is a key. Is a key one that I think of when it comes to planting a seed. We deal with a lot of youth that are impressionable, obviously, right? A lot of people out there in the correctional world like to call them at risk, but we say impressionable, right? A lot of these youth have anger management issues that aren't addressed early on. And that's what we do at the T.R.O.Y Center. We address those issues when we see someone with anger problems, right? So a first day with a young man who comes into my life, or into the Choice Center's doors or whatnot, wherever we are, we go to them and we see that they have some type of anger management improvement needed, right? What we want to do is sit down and not just judge them based on what it is that they just did by acting out, lashing out, cussing someone out, punching a wall, punching another person. Yeah, we're going to handle that right then and there, but it doesn't stop there. So now we want to sit down and figure out what needs were not being met for this youth, for this young man, or even a young lady. What's going on beneath the surface? And once we dive deeper, right, it's really a shallow answer. And that is just maybe they didn't get the love and support that they needed at home. They don't know how to verbally express themselves, so they lash out. So what we do then is teach them to respond to their triggers. Now, when you're meeting a young man or a young lady who has no idea what a trigger is other than from a pistol, right? Like, Nick, what are you talking about? A trigger? Like, I don't get it. Exactly. So now we're planting that seed to help them see life in a different or from a different lens, right? So now they can see that, okay, every time I see this young lady or this lady, she reminds me of my mom. Well, guess what? My mom abandoned me when I was 3, and I see her from time to time, but our relationship is like this. We always bump heads. So now when I see this lady, I'm triggered because she looks just like my mom, right? When we teach them, when we plant that seed on how to acknowledge what it is that they're feeling once they see this lady, now they can respond and act differently than they normally would have. And that's us planting the seed. And not only do we plant the seed initially, we are with them weekly to where we revisit those triggers. And it could be multiple triggers, right? But we want to revisit these things, and that's nourishing them, watering them, taking care of them, and cutting out the weeds. And we keep feeding them what they need as we have already planted the seed. And planting a seed can go a multitude of ways, right? Once again, we have a sports background, right? A lot of people like to look at who we got right now, the front runners for MVP. Joel Embiid, my bad. Steph, maybe even Ja out there balling. Now, for those of you all who are sports enthusiasts, Ja Morant played with Zion. They played on the same AAU team back in the day. Nobody talked about Ja coming out of high school for real. He went to Murray State. But no one saw him working in the gym either. He planted a seed in his head like, hey, I'm going to keep working and I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep at it. So we're in 2022. Maybe this wasn't exactly how I saw it, but I'm front runner, one of the top 5 at least for MVP of the whole entire National Basketball Association. A seed was planted in his head that he just kept revisiting, making sure he was cutting the weeds out, watering it, and making sure it grew to what you see now. It doesn't happen overnight is all I'm saying. So we have to plant the seed, make sure we take care of it, water it, tend to it, cut the weeds out, and help it grow into what we can see and help become some type of positive influence in this thing that we call society. And that's what we do with our youth. We want them to be positive influences, right? So we plant those seeds. We plant them. And like I was saying about the Choice Center, we've planted a seed back in 2017. And now, like I said in one of the last episodes, we're over at McLean High School right now doing our mentoring and tutoring and other life skill coaching. You know what I mean? And helping out with things that these young men and young women need over there, right? With hopes of branching out. So the seed doesn't just stop with that. Hopefully we can branch out. And at the end of the day, what we want to do is impact our community in a positive way by planting multiple seeds. And that's what it's about. Plant seeds, man. Who's going to join us? And once again, we can't do it by ourselves. We're teaming up with people throughout the community. We already mentioned like schools and whatnot, but other profits that are out there, community-based organizations and things of that nature that we want to work with, for sure. Let's do it. Together we can. Plant these seeds. And we have to know, but one of the caveat to the planting of the seed is patience. You have to be patient. I know we live in a microwave world where our youth want things like instantly. It just doesn't happen like that. So we have to be patient, and we have to teach our youth how to be patient and to make sure that they understand that the fruits of their labor will pay off down the road, right? It may not be next year. It may be 2 or 3 years from now. But if you stick to it, your chances of winning increase dramatically. So who's with us? Who's going to join us? Planting seeds. And like I said, this is an agriculture town, and we'll talk about planting seeds in that term. All right. TCC number 32. We out. Peace.